Manchester United have one more preseason friendly in the summer series against Everton, where we will see Bryan Mbeumo make his Manchester United debut. David Moyes himself has admitted that Everton aren't yet ready for the Premier League, while on the flip side, United look physically ready to compete, as our 2-1 win over West Ham and our 4-1 win against Bournemouth looked promising. Once again, I'll reiterate that it's only preseason and that the real test will be against Arsenal on August 17th, but we beat two teams in the past week or so that we couldn't beat last season, and that shows improvement. The team's cohesion is also at a level that we haven't seen in years, and the players really do seem to trust and respect in Amarim's management and his tactical style. Let's run through some lineup predictions and just overall have a general chat about the squad heading into the new season. So this was our lineup to start against Bournemouth. Obviously, we beat them by 4-1 in a performance that I think a lot of Manchester United fans will be happy about. A lot of positives to take from it. Obviously, there are still things to work on, but I think the positives really outweigh the negatives, and that's something we haven't been able to say a lot of, especially last season. There were a lot of standout performers in this game. Obviously, Patrick Dorgu was man of the match. His ability to get up and down the pitch, non-stop, physicality, determination, intention, intensity, all of these things I can talk about Patrick Dorgu. Obviously, getting a goal and assist, it just makes it even better. And his ability to just operate high as a winger, pretty much, because in this system, when everything is flowing correctly, these guys will operate as wingers, Dalot and Dorgu, or whoever's in this position at right wing back. They're going to operate high up the pitch, giving Højlund the ability to kind of operate in and around the penalty area. And Mason Mount, Cunha, whoever it is, Ahmad and Mbeumo, they're going to be able to operate in these spaces, making it difficult for the opposition to pick up. And that'll allow space in behind for Højlund to make his run, or as we saw with Dorgu, cut inside and deliver a great cross. Off the ball movement is so important in this formation, in this system. And I think we saw a lot of that, obviously, with Bruno Fernandes as an 8. His off the ball movement was crucial a lot of the times in us being able to build up from the back. I think our build up was really slick against Bournemouth, and Bruno was a benefactor of that. Obviously, Ahmad being at the 10, he got his goal. He's so tidy in possession. I really love his close control. He's improved tremendously with his strength on the ball. He's improved tremendously with his runs off the ball, and his just overall IQ and game is just impressive. It's getting better and better and better each time we see him. So that's really encouraging from a Manchester United perspective. A lot of fans are questioning, though, whether or not his best position is as a right wing back or if his best position is as a 10. I'm of the impression that Amad Diallo's best position is here as a 10, operating in these spaces because a lot of defenders double up Ahmad. They know that he's too dangerous to leave by himself, especially on this right-hand side. And Ruben Amorim has said time and time again, it's important for us to have a left-footed player on the right-hand side, the right 10, so that he can cut in, so that he can create that option for cutting in and allowing Dalot to make that overlapping run. Or as we saw on the opposite side with Dorgu, because Dorgu was so high up the pitch, he was in these areas when he crossed the ball into Højlund. So it's just a lot of interchangeable positions. It's a lot of fluidity of movement that I think we're seeing. It's really coming to life now, especially with Amorim having the time during preseason to implement these things. Let me not talk too much about these things. Let's get into the predictions. Obviously, I think Tom Heaton is going to start again, building upon his performance against Bournemouth. And I think that's what Amorim wants to see. A lot of these players just build upon their performances, gain that consistency, gain that hunger and that thirst for winning. And I think that's what we're starting to do. Diogo Dalot said it in one of his post-match interviews that the players are just trying to get used to winning games consistently and getting that hunger for when the Premier League season starts. And I think so far the players are doing a tremendous job. Obviously, it's still preseason. I don't want to jump the gun. I don't want to get too ahead of myself. But I'm seeing things from the same group of players that finished 15th. I'm seeing completely different attitudes and mentalities from last season to now. So that's really impressive to see. Like I said, Tom Heaton should be our number one keeper going into the game against Arsenal. I love the way that he's just such a traditional shot stopper, doesn't make things too flashy, doesn't try to make things too camera worthy, especially when he has the ball at his feet. He's quick to progress our play, quick to get us back into our build-up phase, whereas times Onana will dwell on the ball too long. Onana's good with the ball at his feet, but he holds on to it too long, slowing our tempo. Same thing with Harry Maguire. Bayindir is just not good with the ball at his feet. He rushes his clearances. They're not accurate. He shouldn't even be in the club. But let's just be honest. We don't have another situation. We don't have another keeper. I know that we're linked with Lamens, but if that doesn't go through, then this is the goalkeeping core that we're going to have starting the season. I think Heaton has made a claim for himself to be our number one. Simple as. We started with a back three of Luke Shaw, Maguire, and Lenny Yoro, which I actually thought was pretty good. I thought it was solid. I think Luke Shaw's recovery defending was fantastic. He really kind of proved once again that he can be, like Mason Mount, a really strong squad asset, especially with his experience, knowing how long he's played for, playing under different managers and different systems. Lenny Euro, once again, Rolls Royce. I mean, this guy is stellar. He's class. Just with his ball progression, it's getting better and better. His ability to play his way out of trouble is getting better. Obviously, he's good with the long diagonal switches. He's good with his passing range. I mean, there's not too much I can say about Lenny Euro other than he is just class. And I'm so glad that we signed somebody of his profile because we've been lacking a physical, imposing center back who has speed, who has good ball progression, good ball control, good awareness on the pitch. Now, Maguire, this is the one change that I think will be made. I think the season will start with Maguire on the bench. I'm going to put him here. And De Ligt will be the starting center back. He just gives us more stability. I've said it time and time again. Maguire, for me, is not United level quality. I don't even think Luke Shaw is United level quality, um, at least anymore. He's had his chance to prove time and time again. But these players, for me, just aren't good enough. And you know, talk about it in the comments if you want. I want to have these discussions with you guys, but I think De Ligt just offers us way more. So this is the back three that I would start with personally. I know that Aiden Heaven can come in and swap for Luke Shaw, and that might be the case. I think Aiden Heaven is a fantastic option as our wide center back. He has the physical traits. He has excellent composure on the ball for somebody of his age. So he can easily be a like-for-like swap. And I think before Lissandro Martinez comes back into full fitness, I think Heaven and Shaw will be our left center back core. That one is easy enough. Easier said. You know, I know a lot of people think that Lenny Euro can play in this position, but I think the right center back position is his. It's his, like 1,000%. I know Masraoui is going to come back eventually, and this will probably be the position that he rotates with Lenny Euro, but I think this is his position, just hands down. Patrick Dorgu, he's going to start. Don't really have to say much about that. He was fantastic. And if we want to continue building upon these performances, building upon chemistry, building upon the cohesion, he has to be there. He is just so crucial in how we play, especially given his physicality, getting up and down the pitch. That is just crucial. That's just important. If you can pin back the opposition's fullback with Patrick Dorgu, then we have more of the ball. Then we have the ability to create more, find open space. And you saw against the game against Bournemouth how impactful he was. So that one for me is a no-brainer. Now, Casemiro, goodbye. I'm actually not sure why Casemiro is still playing. I don't think he was necessarily bad last game, but he's just not good enough. Now, at this age, his profile, he's too slow. He kind of wastes possession. And this is a Manchester United that I can tell wants to be tidy in possession, wants to be comfortable in possession. They don't want to be erratic. And having Bruno and Casemiro in that position in the midfield, we're going to lose the ball way too often this season in the Premier League. Now, obviously, the like-for-like replacement would be Manu Ugarte. But this partnership, I saw a lot of times last season, worked in the first half, didn't work in the second half. So it's really just, I think, these two guys getting a chemistry link together to say, hey, I know that when Bruno wants to get further up the pitch, Ugarte has to be disciplined. That's the one thing about Ugarte that kind of frustrates me, is his lack of discipline. He does get drawn to the ball a lot. And while that is a positive because he can win the ball back, he can sniff out danger, getting drawn to the ball sometimes just leaves a huge gap in midfield. So if he's pressing high up the pitch with Bruno or Kobe, this is the gap. This is the gap that we saw against West Ham. And that's not what you want. You obviously want somebody to be back here patrolling, or a lot of people were saying that De Ligt should be higher up the pitch. The only problem with that is if De Ligt gets caught out, now we have a huge gap in our center back position. So there's things that Ruben Amorim obviously still needs to work on. And I think it's important for him to do that. In this situation, I would probably have Bruno and Ugarte. I just think it works physically. Bruno has the intensity. And I said that in my last preview video that Bruno has the legs to run for days. Ugarte has the legs to run for days. It's just about his end product that I think a lot of fans are kind of frustrated with. Can he continue to deliver on his end product? This is also a situation where I wouldn't actually mind seeing Bruno drop to the bench just for once to see how we play without him, especially with the players rejuvenized, revitalized, and have Kobe Mainoo and Ugarte start alongside each other. Obviously, against West Ham, they were brilliant. They were absolutely fantastic. Just in terms of their pressing intensity, in terms of winning the ball back, and in terms of building up our play. I thought against West Ham they were brilliant, and a lot of fans were kind of confused as to why they didn't start again. I think Amorim has this idea where he wants to see where everybody plays against certain opposition. Casemiro and Bruno in that midfield shocked me against Bournemouth, but it seemed to work just because Bruno's invention off the ball, Casemiro's ability to play slick passes in and around the Bournemouth defense is very underrated. Ugarte doesn't really have that ability consistently. Mainu does. Mainu is a player that I think is just a like-for-like replacement for Bruno, and probably Bruno's succession plan when Bruno gets older and we were forced to find somebody else. I think Mainu is just literally the like-for-like replacement. So I'd actually like to see a midfield like this in this game. But obviously, knowing Amorim, Bruno is way too important to his plans for him to drop. So I think eventually, or realistically, Bruno is going to be able, or not able, but Bruno will start alongside Ugarte in this deeper position. The reason why I say that is because I really do think that Ahmad is just more impactful as a 10. Like I said, Amorim wants somebody left-footed on that side. So I think Ahmad, once again, will start at the 10, and we'll see Mbeumo come on as a like-for-like replacement for Amad Diallo, if that makes sense. I don't think Mbeumo has the fitness to start the game and finish a whole 45 minutes. But I think coming on later, as we see where the game has already progressed, if Manchester United is winning comfortably, I think Mbeumo will come on and be a like-for-like replacement. Or Ahmad can even swap with Diogo Dalot. And we can finally see this Ahmad right wing back, Mbeumo right 10, and see if it's actually effective or not. But I'm of the impression that Diogo Dalot should start at right wing back just because he's a solid wing back. I don't think his goal in the team or his instruction in the team is to be as impactful as Dorgu. I think he's more of a support, whereas Dorgu is really high up the pitch attacking. We've seen Dalot get into these positions, but I think with the introduction of Mbeumo, obviously Ahmad has that position on lock. So this is kind of what I want to see from Manchester United. I do think Ahmad will start as our 10 and Dalot as the right wing back. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Obviously, Mason Mount had a good game against Bournemouth. I thought he was really effective dropping deep into this type of space. And that's something that Cunha does as well. He really likes to drop deep and receive the ball. So I think obviously Cunha is going to start in this game. I think Mason Mount will have to be Cunha's backup plan. Obviously, we have no Garnacho. We have no true left winger anymore. We just have 10s. We have left 10s. And I think this suits Mason Mount and Cunha tremendously. Cunha will definitely come back and start. He was just fatigued for the last game. And his ability to come deep here and kind of link up play with Bruno and link up play with Dorgu. And sometimes we'll see Højlund kind of operate in this area to create these triangles. I think this is just important for Manchester United in general. And especially against an Everton team that likes to sit back and will give us time and possession on the ball. I think this is important. Cunha starting, of course. Ahmad starting, of course. And Højlund needs to continue to build upon his momentum. Fair play to the guy. He's improving day by day. A lot of fans obviously want the finished product at striker. I'm one of them. I want us to have somebody who's proven. Not Prem proven, not necessarily Prem proven, but somebody who can get you a minimum of 10 to 15 goals without you even considering whether or not they'll do it. You know what I mean? Højlund can get you 10 goals in a season, but will he get you 10 goals? Can he? Like, I think he's done it for us in his first season. But now it's kind of like, well, will he do it? I want somebody who can come in and just, they will do it. Alexander Isak for Newcastle is a hot commodity. You know damn well Isak will get you 10 to 15 goals minimum in the Premier League. So that's somebody that I think we should be going for. Obviously, Šeško is, we're being linked to Šeško, but it looks like Newcastle has overtaken us in that. So I think, they have the money, they have the resources. It's really all up to the player on where he wants to go. If he says he wants to join United, that's another player that wants to join United without European football, which is so impressive to me. So this is kind of the lineup and what I want to see from Manchester United. Obviously, we're going to see Mbeumo come in. It'll be interesting to see what Ruben Amorim does with Ahmad, if he'll replace him with Diogo Dalot. So we have this really attacking right-hand side. It'll be interesting to see, but I'm excited to see what Manchester United does against an Everton team that loves to sit back and also attack with width. A lot of the teams that Manchester United have played recently, obviously Bournemouth, West Ham, even Leeds, they like to attack down the middle. They like to kind of come in from the wing, come in and kind of exploit that hole, that gap that we have in the middle of the park. Obviously, Ruben Amorim, when Manchester United is set in their formation, likes to play super narrow. So these players will drop back into a position like this where they're defending extremely narrow, forcing the opposition to go out wide. Everton like to attack with width though. So I'm extremely interested to see what Amorim is going to do coming up against this Everton team who like to go down the width with Dwight McNeil. They love to swing a cross in with Dwight McNeil, or they'll swap him to the right-hand side and deliver an in-swinging cross to late arrivers in the box. So I'm just interested to see what United will do. I'm interested to see what Amorim will do. But I think this is another game where Manchester United will showcase their talent, the hard work that they've been putting in on the training ground, the graft that they've been putting in. The players just looked so much better. And these are the same guys that we said couldn't do it. Now, I know it's preseason. Preseason is still important to see how these players develop. It's important to see how they get along. It's important to see how they work in the system. And I think it's safe to say it's working. It's actually working. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Sorry if this was a little bit of a longer video for a preview. I just wanted to make sure that I got all my thoughts across because in the last video, I forgot a couple players here and there. Also, before I end, obviously, we have players on the bench who haven't yet played minutes. Sekou Kone is somebody that a lot of fans, especially in the comments and just generally in United, want to see play. This might be a situation where he could actually get the start. I think he'd be another like-for-like replacement for Bruno. He's one of those players that has everything in his game, really. So he could really play anywhere in the midfield. Also, don't forget, guys, Fiorentina, the game against Fiorentina, that's another opportunity for Sekou Kone to come in and play. That one is more so of a final tester before the season starts. So I think that's an opportunity for him to play. And hopefully we sign maybe one or two players before the start of the season. But I'm liking how things are looking. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching the video. It's a pleasure talking to you guys. And hopefully tomorrow, after the Everton game, we can talk and discuss 3 wins on the bounce in the Premier League Summer Series for Manchester United. Have a good day, guys, and God bless. See you.